Hi, Dr. Locke. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I just want to apologize in advance if you hear my daughter in the background. She is a month old today and still hasn't quite the whole sleeping thing down yet, so she's a little fussy. Okay, anyway, so we're going to talk about quantitative research today. So quantitative research is the process of collecting and analyzing numerical data. It can be used to find patterns and averages, make predictions, test causal relationships, and generalize results to a wider population. Quantitative relies on factual testing and data to arrive at conclusions, whereas qualitative explores ideas and classifications and scenarios. So there's common types of quantitative research. There's descriptive research, where you simply seek an overall summary of the study variables. There's correlational research, where you investigate the relationships between your study variables. Experimental research, where you systematically examine whether there's cause and effect relationship between two variables. One thing to note, correlational and experimental research can both be used to formally test hypotheses or predictions using statistics. The results may be generalized and to broader populations based on the sampling method used. Uh, there's a quantitative research method, experiment, control, or manipulate an independent variable to measure its effect on a dependent variable. There's a survey, ask questions to a group of people in person, over the phone, or online, which I'm sure we've all participated in one time or another. Observation, identify a behavior or occurrence of interest and monitor it in its natural setting. Secondary research, collect data that's been gathered for other purposes, such as national surveys or historical records. I found a lot of this when looking for my topic on wound vacs. A lot of people had just compiled data from several other studies, which was nice because it made it really easy to find all the data in one place, but it didn't really tell me anything other than what the other scientists had found. So it was kind of helpful, kind of not. And then further, biophysiological measures include blood pressure, weight, heart rate. Standards for measure each of these variables are available, increasing the objectivity of the measures and ability to reproduce results. One thing to note about this, I learned a lot of insurance companies use these to determine insurance premiums for the people who are seeking insurance. Some advantages of quantitative research, it's easily replicable. Replication, repeating the study is possible because of standardized data collection protocols and tangible definitions of abstract concepts, so which means it's easy to reproduce. Direct comparison of results. The study can be reproduced in other cultural settings, times, or with different groups of participants. Results can be compared statistically. So it's easy for me to do this in America and someone in Europe to do the same thing. Large samples, data from large samples can be processed and analyzed using reliable and consistent procedures through the quantitative data analysis. And then hypothesis testing. Using hypothesis testing procedures means that you have to carefully consider and report your variables, predictions, data collection, and testing methods before coming to a conclusion. It's kind of like what we talked about a little bit earlier. Some disadvantages of quantitative research are its superficiality. Using restrictive operational definitions may inadequately represent complex concepts. For example, the concept of mood may be represented with just a number in quantitative research, but in qualitative research it may be, what type of mood, angry, mad, sad, explain. It's kind of common in like pain scales, rate your pain, 1 to 10, and then, versus, oh, my pain is aching or burning or it's hot or whatever the case may be. Another disadvantage is narrow focus, predetermined variables and measurement procedures that can mean that you ignore relevant observation. So you're kind of focused on one thing whenever you're not really getting the big picture. And then structural bias, despite standardized procedures, structural bias can still affect quantitative research. Missing data, imprecise measurements, or inappropriate sampling methods are biases that can lead to wrong conclusions. So, there's a lot of different things that can mess up your research. Some basic sampling concepts. Population is a cluster of people you're most interested in. It is often the who that you want to be able to say. So, population can be as broad or as narrow as you need to be. A sample is a portion of that population. A sampling frame is an intermediate point between the overall population and the sample that's drawn, so kind of like a halfway point. The strata is a characteristic of stratified sampling method, which the entire population is divided into several homogeneous groups. So, for example, if you took the population and narrowed down, okay, everyone in this group has blonde hair, blue eyes, or everyone has brown hair, brown eyes, or whatever the case may be.